before we get there. But before we even get to that map ban phase, we got to find out where we're going to play.
So Coastline and Consulate are removed in this best of 1 series. At least Cafe. No, okay, thank God.
No, no third cafe. So yeah, border. As you
actually talk about another map.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's interesting to have. It's interesting to have border being brought back in. We've seen a lot of border played recently across the regions. It's seeming to. So I don't know if it's surging in popularity. It's just getting played, regardless of its popularity. I think it's found itself in a position where it's not hated, not loved, and it's just kind of, you know, it makes its way through the bans where you're countering this, you're countering that by banning out these maps for each other, and you end on border. So there you go. You're gonna play border. Congratulations.
Also, one thing to keep in mind for all teams, regardless of region, that a lot of teams will just play this standard map compared to anything else to make sure that they can prepare themselves better for the next play day, where they have to face an opponent where they're actually not as prepared for yet. It's something you throw out to just kind of save yourself or save maybe some strategy. What do you guys think about this, though? 51% for Black Dragons, 39 for INTZ. That's actually pretty close.
Yeah, that's rather close indeed. I guess it's time for us to do the coin toss. So who is going to win? Why don't you guys tell us?
Yeah. So here we have our. I don't know if you can really see it, but this is the heads.
What does the coin tell us?
Yeah, it's Rzeczpospolita Polska.
It's the one without the number on it. The other side says is 5.
5 zloty.
So it's a 5 zloty coin, which is about like a little bit more than $1.
Yeah, it's like $1.30.
Something like that.
What do you say?
On the palm.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, what am I saying? Okay, wait. I'm Black Dragons because they're over here. So I say heads. It's heads.
Tails.
Wait, is it tails?
It's
the number is 5.
Tails. So number is tails.
So it's tails. So
let's take a picture for a second.
So INTZ should win.
Just to verify.
Yeah, he's gonna take a picture and he'll send it out. He'll tweet it out just so we know, just so you guys can like clearly see it. But yeah, it is heads. Or no, it's tails. I don't really.
Tails.
And the other side's heads?
It's heads because it has the face of the coin on it, which is the Polish eagle.
Huh, okay, well.
Makes sense.
I mean, they don't have like it's not as, it's different.
So
anyway,
you're going for Black Dragons.
So I was Black Dragons, so I lost.
INTZ are going to win.
So yeah, INTZ should win.
Let's see if that actually works. We have another solution for our last game, but that's coming up later.
Yeah, we can just spoil it. We can just tell them what it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing, since we have them, they're here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the invitational group brackets seating balls, and we're gonna use that since they're both going to the invitational, and we promise this time we won't put them in the same group. Okay, promise. Anyway, we're gonna get into the match.
That was Enzo's fault.
What? You just gonna throw him under the bus like that? What? Why would you do that?
He's sitting at home sick, and he's cuddled up and having some tea, and he's watching Pro League, and he's like, "Wait a second, I didn't expect this.
What are you doing, Milan?" Shit. Poor Devin. All right, so we're going to get into the match now, and we've got INTZ starting on defense, Black Dragons starting on attack. What's the band's going to be? You think Thatcher? I'm thinking, crazy idea. I'm thinking Thatcher. Maybe not this band, but maybe the next band of Thatcher. Buck, the first band.
Yeah, Thatcher second, as you said, maybe? Yes? No?
I don't know, man. It's pretty wild. We don't see Thatcher band very often, so... For those of you who are not familiar with CG Sports and are just watching for the first time, welcome to Siege. It's a really confusing game, but once you get past the initial learning curve, it's actually really interesting.
It really is.
Thatcher ban is actually super common these days, especially in Latin America. You see it in almost every single match in Latin America. And I was being really sarcastic when I said it's uncommon. It is one of the most common attacker bans out there. In fact, it is actually... there are very few attacker bands that are as uniform as Thatcher. Usually the attacking side has less consistent, predictable bands.
True.
The defense is much easier to predict. We'll see Mira band out, probably Echo, Maestro, or Valkyrie. One of those three.
Yep. Usually it's always the kind of the defense where you can predict those operator bands, and there's the Echo. I mean, Mira's pretty much a perfect predicted operator. And especially online, one thing that... a lot of now Pro League players will tell you, because maybe they had their experiences at first at minors or whatever, and then they were able to learn what it's like to play Siege on LAN. And a lot of people discovered that, hey, peeking around Mira windows and pre-firing people like you do online doesn't work on LAN. So might be a reason why we see a lot more meta on land.
There's still Pierce advantage, but it's like a much more natural, and it mostly comes down to your actual reaction time rather than like your advantage or not advantage, but like ping delay. I don't know. What I do know is that you could still peek around a mirror window and win a gunfight, but it's easier for the enemy who's getting peeked to actually win that gunfight too. We're going to Armory for the first bomb site for INTZ or INTZ, depending on where you hail from. Armory is pretty standard. This is the primary bomb site for Border. You expect to see this first. Some teams will go to Ventilation, the site underneath this, to begin things, but there are generally two primary bomb sites on Border, Armory and Ventilation, two off sites, Customs and Tellers. And you'll usually see Ventilation and Armory defended until you can no longer do that. That will happen after you successfully defend both of them in a row, but that is not always the case. Border is a decently balanced map, I would say.
Yeah.
In terms of attacker win-loss ratio. So usually you'll have like one attack win, one defense win, and so on, back and forth and back and forth. We don't always have that, of course, but it's somewhat consistent, I guess. Let me see the last time I casted Border and what actually happened in it. Let's see. I'm gonna go through the list. That was actually it was yesterday. It was Reciprocity versus Evil Geniuses. That was a stomp, so I guess it doesn't really count. I'm not going to use that as reference. Keep looking.
Fair enough.
No, it was like an absolute dump. Like there was, going north. Last Latin American play day.
AG not having the best time.
Yeah, EG's struggling.
Yeah,
but that's North America.
Regardless, Black Dragons right now are just. They're taking their sweet time trying to enter in here, but Live in the meantime actually doing something that is not traditional.
Ha! Rogue Empire. That was a really close match, and it was back and forth on this map. So
was it a tie in the end?
No, it actually yes it was actually. You were right. Yeah. So and it was on this map, and it was very back and forth. Anyway, PZD gets Vits, so early kill there for Black Dragons. Quan Coin, don't let us down here. I don't remember who I predicted for this.
You predicted Black Dragons.
Did I predict Black Dragons for this one? Really? Are you sure?
Yeah, you did.
I'm checking right now because I thought I would have predicted INTZ, to be honest.
You did?
Oh. Am I gonna lose a point now because the coin?
So utility grenades being lobbed all over. Drungs now looking to find somebody by those ventilation window or by the ventilation window. Live will take a lot of damage, and there's Wog eliminated.
No, I predicted INTZ.
Oh yeah, in those predictions. No, I mean here you said a Black Dragons.
No, well, I was the coin.
Well,
that wasn't a prediction. That was
that
was just right. RNG. I always I'm going against myself all day today. My actual predictions are all been wrong too. We are seeing early engagements come out here from these teams, and Duds is trying to play inside a break room to slow down the push here from BD. He's got Alamo in the hallway to try and support him to slow this down even further. It's just Hornetail spamming C as he peeks out there.
Basically.
Yeah, that's interesting. Ooh.
Corey play there, but he's going to get shot in the head. Duds pretty much telegraphed that play there. Hornetail is going to be lost. Same for PZD. And Duds is going to keep on collecting these heads. Live is low in HP as he took a lot of damage from the engagement before. All it takes is one tap into him. There's Lagonis that'll take down Duds, but it's over. INTZ, hold on. Not even a breach into the office as the sledge tried to come in from below and pressure them, but that doesn't work.
Is that one of the new invitational skins?
I think so.
That is really...
That's the Australian national color scheme, I think. With the invitational.
Do they have the same national color scheme as Brazil?
No, the green and yellow with what they have, if you watch their football team, they have that same, and even
really? I didn't know that.
Mozzie has that skin in the game. You see the national color ones.
Well, it's I mean, it's a lot like. Oh yeah, no, you're right. National colors of Australia, and it's
yellow and green.
Interesting.
I know it's weird.
I mean, there's a lot of countries that share national
Brazil,
colors.
It's more like a gold.
Maybe
the same shade of yellow.
Well, okay. You know, in the hands of a Brazilian team, I'm like, my initial thought was, oh, it's like Brazilian.
It's gold and blue when it comes to the national ones for Brazil, at least when it comes to international play.
But it doesn't really matter. It isn't. One of the point I was trying to get at, actually, nationality aside, and yeah, I know it's obviously got to be Australia because it's Mozzie. That is a really attractive skin. Yeah, the glove gun combo is what really made it. You know when you're playing that one other game with skins in gloves, that other game, and you see somebody has a really awesome combo with their gloves and their gun, and you're like, whoa, that's so attractive. I just got that same effect from that specific invitational set with the gloves and the gun skin. That was super cool.
Plus that charm that's just glowing in between.
Yeah.
What we're trying to tell you right now is, after we're done with this over the weekend, go and play the SI 2020 playlist.
And if you want to spend money on it, then all of that money that you spend, well, not all of it, well,
30% of it.
30% of it. I don't want to keep coming to like all and then having to correct myself. 30% of that money that you spend goes to the prize pools for which is awesome. You know, like that's a contribution to CG Sports. So you can be happy about spending that kind of money. And if you don't want to, don't. It's still free skins aside from that if you don't spend the money.
Exactly. So you can just play and unlock stuff. That's it. Here's Black Dragons droning in and around the entirety of the map right now. We'll see that this is a workshop/Vents defense from INTZ, and they have brought out Vits. They're playing the Goyo, well, at least you're hearing the TCSG, I assume, that's being fired all over the map to open up some space. No, that's actually the Bailiff. It's being used by Drunks. Opening up lines of sight with Maestro is so great. Just the amount of flexibility that you have with the operator. Weirdly enough to say flexibility in Maestro, but
I mean, that's what makes him so powerful. He's a armor, but he's still very flexible. And there goes your smoke to live. Alamo hits the floor. Now, cold, lifeless corpse.
It's a great frag grenade there to come in, and there's the breach. Into Archives, there's double reinforcement. Vits is going to fall off through the hatch, and what you're trying to do is waste a lot of utility and specifically time off of Black Dragons. But losing the smoke was definitely not the play. If you were been at a 5v5 with what has happened so far and a minute 20 left, you've been sitting pretty if you're the defensive INTZ, but Hornetau is wasting no time with support behind him to enter into tellers and pressure Bathroom.
Drone game being hindered here. Oh, bad flash there. That's going to slow things down just a little bit. Trying to clear ADS, possibly. Maybe not sure if there's someone inside the bathroom. Possibly no droning going on in there. No Mute, no Mozzie in play here, so should be easy droning for BD. Damage done to Drunks. There is a dock, so he can be healed back, but it's going to require some work, some serious work to make that happen. The attackers have made their way into bathroom, and they've opened up that teller's wall. So there's lots of line of sight here for BD, and since they have a strong HP and man advantage, they're in a good spot. Drunks has been double healed from VNX, so back to full HP. As we hit the last 40 seconds, that will really matter in future engagements. Live, look at his second kill, though, on 2 Vits, so it's getting even worse for INTZ. Duds holding from Customs through Passport, and he will do some damage, but no kill. Lagones is going to start planting, and it will be a post-plant for BD. With man advantage and strong HP advantage, this looks pretty winnable here for Black Dragons. Trying their best to hold it out. Lagones knows where his opponent is and is just trying to play the passive angle, knowing it's a post-plant situation. No need to peek that unnecessarily and get your life taken away from you. Just a little bit of patience here. Flashes go out to try and slow things down. Still, any of these INTZ players will die really quickly to all of the BD lineup, but BD is starting to incur some damage as well. Shots landing there from the dock, not from Lagones. In the hallway, pressure coming out, but Drunks is that hallway pressure, and he is actually dissipated. Nope, sadly, I was wrong. It's Duds, and that means the INTZ are in the 2v2, but there's no time left on the diffuser to disable. So, while it was a nice try from INTZ, they really just took too long with the fights. Black Dragons will take the very first round, and it'll go to 1-1.
Do not underestimate the recoil on the 44.
I know, dude, it's crazy.
It's just insane.
He was shooting the ceiling practically.
And it goes from like, the first shot just kicks so high that you don't know what's going on. And it went from the Magnum being a sniper rifle to, oh my God, what is this? Why do I feel like DJ Khaled right now suffering from recoil? This is a bit too much.
I don't get that reference.
Like suffering from success.
I don't get that reference.
One of his albums?
No. Oh, it's an album name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me show you.
Yeah. You're actually going to show me?
Yeah. I don't watch that sort of. Well, I don't listen to that sort of stuff. But it is an album by DJ Khaled, and it's called "Suffering from Success."
Learn something new every day.
And there was someone that edited a photo on this with Clyde, and they're like, 44 Magnum suffering from recoil is hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, somebody posted that. I loved it.
Okay, so it's an actual meme. Got it. All right. I'm just behind. I'm not hip like Gassan. No, like Gassan. INTZ having won one round, lost one round, will rotate away from ventilation despite not having won that specific site just yet and go over to customs. So that last round, the Black Dragons pretty much unhindered, got control of tellers. They pressured above, and they got a pretty easy route straight into the site. All the while, they are fragging out, and it doesn't seem like INTZ really has anything to answer back with. I mean, every engagement that INTZ put up, they lost, really. We even saw that Maestro, especially, he got away from that fight, right? But then he didn't accomplish much else on the top floor. So there's just not a lot really going on here for INTZ when it comes to ventilation defense. We'll see what they could give us on customs. Maybe it'll be a little bit better.
So there's VNX with the prep, putting a lot of barricades up. And it's a very viable strategy, by the way. Do not underestimate barricades. It's not about really slowing down your opponents. It's just giving you that audio-visual few seconds. You know, that prep time that you need to be like, okay, I know I'm being pressured from this angle. I have to be ready for it. It's definitely a great utility. And you get an infinite amount of them if you watch those videos in the game. If you watch that video specifically, which I believe Canadian does literally every day, you get 200 renown for free, pretty much. Watching it like a minute, 20 seconds.
Are you talking about the 6 Invitational trailer thing?
No. It's literally a tutorial video in the game.
When you buy the operators?
No. It's a tutorial video. There's 3 of them built into the game.
Videos?
One for, yeah, I know. I was so surprised. I discovered it when the servers were down a few days ago for maintenance. And yeah, there's one for those barricades. There's one for reinforcements.
I think I vaguely remember this. Like, I don't know. It was so long ago. Then I must have done that.
And they're on Old Hereford, like in the prepper. It's weird.
All right.
Anyways, live lining up the first kill potentially, but no, it's gonna fall off the angle. I'm not sure if Black Dragons know that there's a player waiting up close to them inside of the workshop.
That'd be a dangerous fight there for live. He could just open the wall, but he's trying to be patient here with this play. In highway, Duds is felled. Good peek there from live. Bad pre-fire from Duds. Poor rotation as well. Nothing's going to come of the rest of this round, though. Ooh, VNX has just been droned out. That's really big because he's going to be pressured now from live. He's going to start opening up that wall. C4 from VNX's will get PZD, though, who was above. So there goes the IQ. Live is going to be a really valuable player here for BD. If he can get the Valkyrie inside a workshop, he'll open up this entire round for his team. If he just lingers there, he can cover for his team. If he dies, then things open up suddenly for INTZ.
You know what my big problem is? Right now, the sledge is right here in bathroom and not upstairs opening up holes in the floorboards inside of CCTV, something that would have aided a lot in taking down the one player that is on the site right now, Alamau, who just got Hornetau off of the game. Ash is out. The wall is completely reinforced and tricked. You're going to have a rough time entering into this defense with no push and no pressure from above. There's Live, who just walks into the line of fire of Vitz. It's all working well for INTZ. There's a runner from the Nomad trying to collect the third one, but Vitz will lose at the gunfight to Lagonis. Alamau ready for it as he collects the second one in this matchup. I am not sure what happened there. I know the Suds was trying to pressure into workshop and subsequently into vents, but man, use your utility. Put him upstairs.
Yeah.
Players were just all in the open for him.
There was definitely something. There's a lot to critique about that attack strategy. You could argue that the sledge positioning wasn't great. You could also argue that walking in through one bottleneck as a team, but one by one, isn't great. It's like, hey guys, this works so great for the first guy. Let's do it. Let's everybody just walk through this door. Maybe we can eventually win the gunfight, especially if we do it one at a time. That way we give the enemy team a nice and even fair chance.
Yeah, it's called the Soviet 1944 strategy.
Wow, that is a really like that's like a morbid joke. I don't know if I.
It is.
I don't. Oh, what? How do I respond to that, Gaston? What am I supposed to say?
You don't.
All right,
You're the history guy.
I'm just gonna move on. I know what happened, and I'm gonna move on. Armory defense here for INTZ. they're going to see if they can make Armory work a second time. They made it work the first, and it was a solid defense for them. The only site that's really not been kind to INTZ, honestly, was ventilation.
Yeah.
This was INTZ had a really interesting strategy by 90. I think they were using Goyo shields. They've decided not to do that this time. They might still try to get an aggressive holdout, but no Goyo shields, so at least there's a little bit of a different setup here from INTZ. You love to see that strat variation.
Yeah, and what was the big deal in that very specific round outside of the Goyo? The Jaeger holding on to break room the entire time.
Yeah, so they might still do that, but I don't know if, well, they're not going to have support from 90 anymore.
Exactly. So again, if I know that there's the scoreboard right now, but you can see the reinforcement, how it's set from break room into 90. There's one on the right side, and then the actual center of the entire hallway is open. And the smoke is standing there. So I'm not sure if he's supposed to be the support. 2 duds in the round. It's a bit of an exposed position. And PZD and the rest of the team here, Black Dragons, are trying to enter all together into break room, realizing that it was their Achilles heel in that very first round. So the Jaeger sitting on his own by the monitors. He's going to be checking just around the corner, see if somebody peeking around the break room, but there's Lagonis. He'll find the first one on drugs. A big kill on the Maestro, who is probably trying to run away from that half wall in the back of main armory. And the Black Dragons are just going to focus their entire run on this. I think VNX is trying to catch a drone with his pest launcher, that usually the drone that is put upstairs on the roof to nade him out, but it's not.
Oh, what a shot!
Jeez. Jesus. Oh, here we go. Well, Vitz is going to find Lagoon. It's a great kill there. And another one on the Hornet Tower. The Ash low on HP. A 3K for Vitz. But Black Dragons, what have they done? They've taken control of break room, but as I say that, they just lost it. Wag's the last alive with the ARX. He can do a lot of damage with the rifle, but to what avail? He still has air jabs. Everything's still in his back pocket, but there was no opening that was found by INTZ, except for that Maestro as he tried to run away from the half-wall in Armory. He's going to stay back.
He's going to use the time for a timeout.
Yeah.
Just a pause here as we wait for the round to conclude. So that's 3-1 favor INTZ. Oh yeah, it does end slow on the end. I messed it up.
It's okay.
That's on me.
It's okay.
No, you're right. I haven't heard it in a long time.
It was perfect. I'm very proud of you.
So just a little bit of the waiting game going on, in case you're wondering what the situation is. It's elevator music time.
Yeah, basically.
And really, we haven't seen a whole lot from Black Dragons outside of that ventilation attack. And that one ventilation attack was just,
5 seconds left.
I mean, it was, you know, we were, okay, we'll take into tellers, we'll clear out office, we'll make sure that no one's going to flank us from above, isolate the top, push in through, and then get the plant. And that worked great for BD because they were winning the gunfights. Other than that, though, all of the attacks that BD have put up have fallen flat. Every time they come up against an INTZ player, they lose the gunfight. It just doesn't look really great. This is another example of a round that went that way. INTZ are doing a really good job of winning gunfights, period, and that is dissuading Black Dragons. It's preventing them from winning rounds. Wow.
So now, what's the change in the strategy? The Maestro Cam, well, the Maestro Cam was pretty important in the beginning. However, it did mean that the Maestro was sniped and killed off. This time we're going to be going down to Vent's Workshop, but still, regardless, you still need to hold on to Armory and to Archives. And this was the only site that Black Dragons were able to win on. And it was off of a lot of mistakes from INTZ. They let go of that top floor of Armory Archives area way too early. And that definitely is not the play. You need to burn off a lot more time. The Goyo, I think, is a big response to that. INTZ recognized their faults in their stars, and they're going to be bringing the Goyo.
I still haven't watched that.
Me neither.
Really? You the reference?
I know the name of the movie.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that I know everything about it.
Gotcha.
You know, I still haven't watched Akira, for example.
Really?
Yes. I've been promised. You know, we went out to dinner in Japan. I was like, hey, you guys should watch Akira. And all three of you were like, Yeah, you definitely should. And I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, you really should get on that. It's definitely, it's a classic.
This is a man that loves Cyberpunk, yet still wasn't able to watch Akira. So what am I even? I don't know. Am I human or am I dancer?
We're making all the references today.
Yes. So right now, Black Dragons on the attack again. Again, they were victorious on this site, but INTZ made the change with the Goyo. And we didn't quite catch exactly where all of those shields have been placed. But I assume they're all placed to kind of support the defense here with Drunks. Does he have an angle on any Goyo shields to destroy himself? I don't think he can hit anything with that Evil Eye from where he is, because, reminder, Evil Eye can pop those Goyo Volcans. Does gonna barricade real quick and sit back. Just waste a bit of time. Why not? Wok is gonna walk on in to the balcony. You see Drunks on the other side here inside of Armory. Vitz is perched himself inside of Archives. He can drop down. They also played the Goyo in the very first run that they had on this, but I'd assume that there would be a few changes in the strat.
I think the most important thing, regardless of whether he's playing Goyo or Kaid, is that Vitz has the TCSG-12. I think that's the most important thing. Give him the TCSG-12 with the ACOG, and you'll win the round. You got to just lean on that.
So there's the play from Hornatau as he has used one of his breach charges, and there's the grenade from Live. Actually, it's not actually, yes,
wow.
It does pop the shield. Does a tiny bit of damage to Alamau on the smoke, but he retreats. He knows that he's burned off time and literally did some burning damage to Live, but he's okay with it. He's got to be careful, though, that there's one angle that his opponents can be dropping from, and actually, Vitz is going to run back down on the site, leaving only Drunks alone upstairs. I'd assume that INTZ want to support him with some nitro cells, and Duds is going to remain inside of CCTV to provide some crossfire. This is working well. INTZ are burning a lot of time off of Black Dragons, and Wog is unable to catch anybody yet with those air jabs. His drone set up by Live. Breach hammer in hand, so he can definitely open up more walls. But here, the thermite charge going off. Not sure where it is right now. Maybe to charge into the armory, as we didn't quite see where the reinforcements were. And there you go. You spot the two players by the servers. Vitz is along the back with the smoke. And there's more smoke canisters being thrown into the face of Live. They really do disrupt your line of sight. And it seems like CCTV has been evac'd. VNX is downstairs. Vitz will find the first kill, though, onto Lagonis. As he entered into the site, the sledge is going to take a ton of damage and go for the plant. Vitz, he's right around the corner. All you need to do is just shoot a couple more shots.
Someone has to deny.
Finish him.
It's there.
No! 3v3, but Live is down on the floor. Hornatau able to find one on the Vitz. As he just took down that Goyo, but a beautiful play from Duds to take down Hornatau. You can keep on sticking it. There you go. The round is pretty much over as Live is dead. Hello?
Well, they don't know. Yeah, okay. They don't know that he's down. Yeah, they're not aware. They're clearly not aware that Live is down.
Yeah, you don't get the pointer that the player's down.
You can see
right
him.
there.
That's like this sort of. That's the moment where you review the VOD and you see it and you're like, oh, facepalm.
Yeah.
Oof. So okay, well, I mean, nice plant there from Black Dragons, but INTZ just putting up so much work on the initial entry, slowing things down significantly. Yeah. We were just so normally the air here is pretty bad. But I've never seen it go into the purple range, where it changes from unhealthy to very unhealthy. That's like the air here is at the point now where, like, generally speaking, most people would suggest that you don't go outside.
Did you guys watch that that show called Chernobyl?
No, it's not that bad. Come on,
definitely not.
That's very insane. What is with these jokes today, Gassan?
I mean, it's a popular show.
It was a really good show, though. Yeah.
I didn't watch it. You know how? Okay, since it's in the game, I can probably talk about it without like mentioning the name and in details. Casa de Papel. It was.
Yeah, you can talk about that one. Obviously, they had the partnership.
Yeah. So. It took me like a year and a bit after the show came out to watch it. And I ended up watching it, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then they rebooted the series with like a second season, and God, that is awful. That's like
that part you probably shouldn't talk about. I see. I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
that was ages ago. But I'll tell you right now,
What?
it's awful. And
It's gonna double down.
I will say again, it's like Hangover 3.
I don't see it. I haven't watched that either.
It's like getting the boys back together kind of thing, which is just too cheesy.
Right. Okay. Well,
Doesn't matter.
you should watch that other one. The yes, it's good. You should definitely watch it.
Yes, it's good. This one.
Before people start calling Wag a wall hacker, he was trying to shoot the camera. Thank you. And conversation ended. It's gonna be like it's gonna be one of those clip reels. Have you seen those for like the other games players? You know, that other game that has skins on their guns and stuff we were talking about earlier. You know, they see all those clip reels with like, oh, he's cheating. Look at him. He looks at someone through the wall.
Yeah. He was lifting his mouse.
Yeah, he was just flicking his mouse to. But but people like they make these reels, these highlight reels of these players who've been playing for like
And then they make it
for
like
years.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, look at this guy. He's obviously cheating.
They make a 7-hour video about it, and they're like, "This is exactly why they're cheating." Please.
I'm surprised we don't have more of
Analyze.
those. Or to be honest. You know, like, but yeah, I'm really happy that our game is not plagued with that.
Thank God.
Yeah, at a competitive level. Live, gonna eliminate Duds. That's a good kill there from Live. And that's gonna give BD a slight edge in this round. But only slight. It's not necessarily gonna result in a win. Customs is a vulnerable site, of course, but last time INTZ were here, they did manage to win it. Sledge has been positioned upstairs, so they heard you, Gassan, and they might try to utilize that hammer from above. Vids has pushed his way up to the bathroom hallway, but knows there's one in bathroom and will have to retreat. That is a swift retreat there as Hornetau scares him off. Live gets Vids, though, so there's the second kill.
That's exactly what he should have done before.
And the vertical pressure is really working out. And
Nitro!
Bad timing.
He ran right over it, and the Nitro, unfortunately, will not connect. With 2 players down, INTZ are on the back foot in this round, and I don't think they still have one more Nitro cell to use, but you're left with little ammo on that TCSG, and you need it because that secondary is not going to work for you. There's one shotgun shot in Elamau. Will hit Hornetau, but PZD will take down Phoenix. Is it enough time? It doesn't really matter at the end. The hatch is going to be open. You're going to be able to drop and take down this smoke pretty quickly. Yeah, he lays on the ground. There's Wag to finish off Elamau, and that's the end of our first half and a 4-2. Good advantage for INTZ.
Yeah, INTZ are happy with that. They're very comfortable now. So they shouldn't need to worry too much after all that. Well,
yeah,
the coin toss so far is correct. We're not done yet, but we're getting there.
All hail RNGesus.
So we've gotten, so technically speaking, out of 3, we've gotten 2.5 right. Because the first one we said it would be one team, but it was a draw. Remember?
Yeah, it's still a terrible thing for Liquid, no matter how you get it.
The reason we say that, I mean, I kind of would argue for 3 out of 3, just because you're right. Liquid really should have won that. Plus, they got, what was it, 90% of the community vote or something? 85. They got 85% of the community vote, and then it was a draw, right? So, like with that whole argument going on there, like we could say 3 out of 3, or you could say 2.5 out of 3. Either way you want to look at it, we got a good record here.
That's basically what you should look at.
But we're not actually, I realize just now that I'm calling it too early. It's not done yet. Black Dragons could bounce back. It just doesn't seem like they're going to. Based on what we've been watching so far, BD have been winning these rounds. Yeah, sure, 2 of them. But very close, I'd say. That last round was a really simple clear for Black Dragons into CCTV. Once they had it, they started using Sledge to great effect. Better effect than they had before. And it was a pretty easy round for them to take, I gotta be honest. There was a little bit of fight put up by INTZ, but not nearly enough. Yeah, let's see how BD does on defense. This could be their dream zone. Maybe they're just much more comfortable here. INTZ are bringing a interesting lineup. The Thatcher band, they will substitute in a Twitch because he can't be brought. You got the Thermite. So standard hard destruction here for Border.
I like the Twitch play. Who was it? Astra that used to run a lot of Twitch for like.
I think so.
Even when the operator was kind of dropped for anything else, especially during the Lion Reign of Terror.
Yeah, because you can combo, you know, good guns and frag potential with Lion being OP, and then you could just make it like just really hard to beat attacking lineup.
That was really back in the day.
Yes.
So even in those times, it kind of worked out well for him. But here, INTZ are kind of bringing it back. We've seen Twitch every now and then in play. Waz going to try to stop things here. He actually has not deployed a single one of his shock wires, which it's fair. Your entire point is to halt plays from the balcony, but you can still use them in other places. Maybe they'll end up saving you on the other sides of the round. Just because the Thatcher is banned, you might as well just use a few of them before you get to this spot. INTZ, do they have a grenade that they're going to be lobbing from the top floor? That's the big question. Everybody does that from the roof through the cupola. And Drunks is going to go take a bit of zap damage. Where's the grenade? No, there you go. It's the... Oh, ho, ho, ho! I was calling for it. There's Wag. He's down. Alamile heard it. And it even destroyed the extra bandit berries. Now PZD can lose this position thanks to a thermite charge, but it'll probably be used against that of the entrance into archives if the wall is completely reinforced.
You saw there that Wag was trying to go for the wall, but he really shouldn't have even attempted it. He was too far, and the nade caught him in the transition. Well, there's another one for INTZ as Hornatau goes down. Live inside a CCTV could be the next victim, but he'll down someone and finish them off before he's killed. And a second for Live. Excellent use of the SMG-11. There's a third as down goes VNX. PZD adds to it, and it's all on Drunks all of a sudden from a 5-on-3 to a 1-on-3. Drunks trying entry into break room. He's gotten some control. One in the hallway just outside of break room trying to support Live. There goes Live though. And in the cross, PZD gets his second and BD gets their first defensive round.
Well done there from Black Dragons. It was really all Live. Running out of armory and then fighting people inside of CCTV is definitely a situation that a smoke should never win. With an SMG-11, you might get one pick, but you should get immediately refragged. So that was a big mistake from INTZ, allowing such a play from Live to happen. It basically neutralized the entire flank that was up and running up until that point from INTZ. You were kind of forced onto a wall, basically. Back against the wall, you're not going to be able to do much. But there's Black Dragons now going for a second site. It's bathroom tellers. Out of the possible. Usually you'll be going for workshop vents. Not the case here. I know we talk about it all the time. It's pretty crazy, yo. There's the castle barricade stuff. Wag is going to be an important linchpin of the site as burning utility is great if you're on the defense. Plus, there's no Ash in play. And I wonder if VNX is bringing breach charges on his Twitch.
That might enable some things when we get into the round, but of course the sledge is going to be the most useful for those castle barricades. The Sophia also can do that, even Habana can. There's not necessarily a huge call for hard destruction on this bomb site, so you can make that work. The big key, of course, to holding this bomb site is to hold it from above. You're going to want to hold office for as long as you can as the defenders. Castle barricades are going to assist you in that endeavor. It would be nice to have a Mira window there, but of course Mira is banned by Black Dragons earlier. So yeah, no, it'll be an interesting one, that's for sure. Teller's defense always is. Again, it is considered technically to be an off-site by most. Kaid being brought here, so the nades will have to deal with that, or the Twitch drones will have to deal with that. Either way, it will have to be dealt with. More likely the nades, but the difficulty is sometimes those electro claws can be placed far enough away from the nades that it's really hard to hit them. Another thing is that the hard destructor of choice for INTZ is Habana, not Thermite. And what that means is the Kaid is much more likely to be able to outpace the hard destruction. And when you place a Kaid, it takes a really long time to activate. Habanas can technically outpace if you time it right. They can go faster, but Habanas are slower than Thermites. Thermites can almost always outpace an Electrica, again, if you play it right. Whereas Bandit Batteries, they're the best of all. So, you know, it really depends on the situation, right? But right now, a Thermite would be very helpful for INTZ, I would say. But of course, you can make it work with a Habana. Just, again, it depends on your timing.
So there's VNX. We're talking about the Twitch.
No breaching charges.
Yep. So he's gonna have the Claymore. It's something that will help you in eventual vaults, but because there's a castle barricade set up, it's probably because Black Dragons don't actually want to use this position. They can run out if they pre-primed that barricade, but I don't believe that they did. If you have an impact grenade, you can definitely go for it as well. Alamau is prepping for a second frag grenade, but no, the first one actually does not hit. I wonder if it was able to destroy that Electro Claw. I think this is what he's going to be flicking around to find.
Alamo is set up on the roof, waiting to throw a nade through. What did you call that? You called that something, the thing he throws the nade through earlier in...
Cupola.
Cupola?
Yes.
That is a new one for me.
Yes. It's coupole in French, and it's cupola in English.
Okay. Thank you.
So anything that is just that dome, it's a dome, but it's a cupola in this very distinct
situation. Cupola nade, all right. Wagam's playing in Suicide. Difficult spot to hold, especially after the volcano erupted next to him. But he is just shy of that fire, so able to persist, which means BD is able to hold on to Office. Duds will get the first kill, though, and that's PZD gone. There goes your TCSG and Goyo. Peek there from the castle, ill-advised, and Alamo will eliminate Wagams. So now, INTZ racking up 2 early kills, but there's Lagonis to refrag. Vitz will take down Lagonis immediately after, though. VNX adds that as Hornatow goes down, leaving just live by Jungle. He will get 1 onto Duds, and nearly a second, but not able to outduel Vitz. And we will see INTZ take their first attacking round, putting them at 5-3.
Yeah, unfortunately, the biggest of deals when it comes to defending bathroom tellers, just holding on to the top floor as long as possible. The castle barricade was destroyed. The wall was lost, which is why some teams will bring both a bandit and a Qaid in this case, because they just allow you to hold on to the what do you call it, the office wall for way longer. However, you could also peel back. The strategy was well done from INTZ. They won their gunfights as well. In general, there was nothing Black Dragons could do really to stop them. This site, the fact that they chose it, it might come back to haunt them, as INTZ are 1 round away from claiming a point in this game, which already would be a big positive for them right now. We're going to go to Workshop and to Ventilation, and if we look at our score lines right now, I'll remind you that INTZ are at 6 points, and FaZe Clan were not able to advance today. So should INTZ take a point in this play day, they'll tie up with Team Liquid. Have they played against one another yet? Yes, they have, and it was a victory for... It was INTZ. Yep. So actually, if INTZ tie this with Liquid and IFP get more points today, INTZ would be number 1.
Yeah, but I mean, they're more. INTZ looks like they're going to win, and obviously, also, this is much more important. Coin toss said that INTZ would win, so.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see. I think 3 for 3 would give it a pretty good chance. A 50-50 is still like, eh. But what you're looking for is that this third one for the prediction, where lucky coin.
Yeah, plus if INTZ wins, I get my very first prediction right for the day. Like the random's been right. Like the coin tosses and the rock, paper, scissors, those have all been right.
What did I say, man?
But my predictions, like my actual predictions, who I thought would win, entirely wrong so far, which means that, yeah, this is the match. It's got to be this match where that changes, right? I start getting some points.
We'd still love to have you on an analyst desk.
Oh, yeah.
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 That said, there's INTZ now preparing for their push as they've taken control of CCTV. VNX is scanning around, so maybe it can spot some sort of utility, some sort of camera that was pre-placed. As you see, the Valkyrie is in play for Black Dragons. So he's scanning about in case of emergency. It's going to go for the default cam. Fair enough. This is a usual spot for a Valkyrie camera, by the way. It watches both angles inside of jungle and the passport check.
You put it on that little ventilation unit between the two. Usually goes unspotted, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's why he's looking for it. Unfortunately, there's actually nothing there, so fair enough. Exkyros can be used to open up the castle barricades.
Did I say ventilation unit? I meant vent. It's just a vent.
Vent.
Anyway, PZD will get a C4 onto Alamo, and he's gone. The sledge eliminated means less soft destruction above for BD to worry about. Duds trying to creep his way down metal. VNX trying to push his way into archives. Lagonis still playing above. That's going to be someone that VNX has to confront. Duds will get 2 as he successfully creeps his way down to metal and gets 2 kills. Just nobody watching that position, I suppose. Vitz gets 1s, and there's a third for Duds. Suddenly it's just Hornatow in the site. Everybody on BD just runs to their death. 2 for Duds for free as he's not being checked. Then a third as somebody attempts to confront him. And Vitz, meanwhile, also got 1 above. And the final one, I believe, Duds. So a 4K for Duds. INTZ put themselves, I believe that's match point, 6-3. What a round. What happened there, for those of you who didn't see, because we weren't watching him, is Duds crouch walked down metal, and nobody on BD was watching the bottom of metal / front door. So Duds walked into the site, killed 2 people, walked back up metal, and killed a third as that third was attempting to rotate to metal to confront Duds from above. And then also 1 kill went to Vitz, who was also trying to clear out the top floor.
They did it.
Well,
Actually did.
So we're going to... I mean, honestly, like, INTZ has looked really good through the season. And I think they're a team that, yeah, they had some bad moments. Like, let's look at their record real quick. They had one really particularly bad moment where they lost to Elevate. That's what it was. But like based on what I'm seeing right now, that might just be Elevate's playing better. Because Elevate did draw against Liquid today.
That's true.
So, like, no matter how you look at this, straight up, I'm seeing Elevate's looking better, INTZ is looking better. INTZ is about to beat BD. We're not there yet, but they're looking like they're gonna.
3 rounds are what Black Dragons need to win in a row on this defense to guarantee a tie.
Can we really quickly, though, talk about this?
Go ahead.
FaZe have lost 2 days in a row, and they lost to BD and Team 1. They gave Team 1 their very first points of the season. What is going on with FaZe? What's happening there? That's some juicy losses right there.
I think everybody's taking it from the G2 playbook and saving strats for 6 Invitational.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
It's the only explanation that I can find.
Yeah, of course, G2 saved strats through that entire year so that they could get invited to the Invitational and use all their strats then.
And I bet you right now, if G2 get first rounded, then they're gonna say we were saving strats for the next Invitational.
we're saving strats for the next DreamHack, guys. Woo!
I mean, you know they would say it.
No, it's just a joke.
I know, but still.
I wonder how many people take that stuff at face value too.
Dude.
So many.
What is that question, Michael?
So I'm sorry, I forgot all of them. I'm just kidding.
Have you read Twitter?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't hate me. All right, so or do. It's up to you. Your prerogative. So it's an Armory defense here, and CCTV extended hold from Black Dragons. INTZ trying to clear in underneath. There's nobody to roam counter from BD, so nobody trying to stop this downstairs clear from Vitz. Drunks wants to open up this office wall. Clearly clearing an office take. You can do it, Vitz. You just
believe.
You gotta believe. Oh man, he really doesn't want to vault the window because it makes a very unique sound. And he's just trying his best not to give away his position. Because the drop down is open, it really would give away his position. He's not even gonna do it. He's just gonna let Alamo nade. And I don't even think that'll be successful as the bandit's on the wall right now. And okay, Wag couldn't trick it.
Yeah, it was on the other side of the wall, and that's really the whole point of the grenade. If Wag went to trick this, then he would have been dead. But Hornetau will find duds, regardless, removing the Zofia Einer utility.
So no sneaky duds in this round. No, like, 4K out of left field. It's not going to happen.
It's a big hold on CCTV. What should be happening from INTZ now is doubling down on that office take. There's Vitz that's going to take down one, but Hornetau with a refrag is going to run away for just a second. And no, Alamau somehow wins the gunfight, finding the headshot. He's going to check on down in the center of the hallway, but VNX and Dross will follow up. Lagonis suddenly is the last man alive. INTZ are actually going to do this here. The Maestro trying to lock down 90. Sit by the beepers here inside of Armory. Next to the metal half wall. Watching down into CCTV, but the drone is going to find him. He's going to have to run back and make a lot of noise, take a bit of damage. Zingress into the archives. He can jump out if he wants to, but at this point, he's going to run out of options, cornered in the side, and unfortunately, he's not an Echo. There's 12 seconds left. Maybe he can catch someone off on the run out, but Drunk's going to go for a safe plant behind the bomb, and there we go. Alamau will find the last one. All hail RNGesus.
The coin toss working out here, guys, as it did in match number 1, as the rock, paper, scissors did in match number 2. And for match number 3, again, we'll show you how that system's going to work once we get back to us.
Yeah.
But wow, big win there for INTZ. Pretty decisive rounds there, I gotta say. It looked like BD was actually going to have the advantage for a while, but not so in the end. And yeah, nice try for BD. Don't forget to pick up Team INTZ's skins. You get the Thermite bundle, and it does directly support them.